the two of you who met in the context of this immense adventure which God has for all of us. Something we can't even dream, we can't even plan. It's impossible, humanly speaking, that the two of you should meet, let alone that the two of you get married. God, who's an artist, the first thing he does after creating Adam is he acts as a matchmaker to find a spouse to fill his loneliness. All of us who have this loneliness inside of us, this emptiness, which no one is able to fulfill. Nobody is able to satisfy. You both have experienced this. And he acts as a matchmaker only after Adam has experienced that God is the only one able to satisfy him. You're the only one able to fill my emptiness, to suffice in my need. You experienced this in the mission, and in the mission in the Turks. That year you fell in love completely with God. And you experienced this also. And many times God is speaking to us in ways that we don't understand. We think he's absent, or there's a mistake, or our life is on hold, or we're just in a holding pattern. God is the one who is acting. And he brought the two of you to know each other as kids in this beautiful little island of Guam. I've never been there. Many of you have been there. Our brother priests, Ivan, Marco, Edwin, I don't know who else has been out there in the middle of the Pacific, lost out there. How did you end up there? You, from Russia, you end up in Venezia. And then from Venezia, dove è il resto? And France, Enrico, you find yourself in the mission, and the two of you also. You found yourself with your family on this island. You met as kids, and even though you had a crush on him, a little bit, even though you didn't admit it, you were a very girly girl, she was always her hair and her dresses. The two of you separated after high school. You were gone. I was reading what the both of you wrote, and you promised yourself two things, Emmanuele. One, you'd never enter the seminary. Failed. Two, you'd never have a long-distance relationship. Also, God brought you to Israel, and there began to mature you as a man, to do a formation with you, and you somehow had forgotten all about him. And then coming back in 2019 here, and then a chance meeting where you weren't even planning to meet him. You were here stateside, and then through a friend you went to their house, and something enkindled within you. And when you came back from the Turks, surprisingly, in New Jersey, who should show up at your door but Emmanuele? The two of you walked in Hoboken, where your mission first began here, and you knew what God was calling you to do. This sacrament, which you, the two of you, are about to give to each other. All of us are witnesses, myself, all the priests, we are just witnesses. You are the ministers of this sacrament. The Catholic Church has 7 sacraments. In all the others, it's the priest or the bishop or who does the stuff. You are the ones who are ministers of this sacrament to one another. Minister from minus to be less than. To consider the other more important than yourself. Your mission every day will be to wake up and ask God, how can I serve Naomi? Your mission will be to wake up, how can I serve Manu? And this is impossible for us. We're unable to serve selflessly, to give ourselves always, to give ourselves selflessly. Ask any of the married couples here. There'll be days when all of this is in the rearview mirror. There'll be no flowers, no wedding dress, no community of people, no photographer, no limousine, what kind of a limousine. There'll be nothing. There'll be days when the storm clouds gather. There'll be days when the water rises. There'll be days when the wind is howling. This, which is impossible for us, to give ourselves completely, selflessly to the other, is made possible by the grace of this sacrament. This sacrament, which has a sacramental, a supernatural grace, which is heavenly. Most often in the scripture, heaven is compared to a wedding banquet, where Christ is the one who espouses himself to the bride of the church. We are the bride, and we are unfaithful. We have been two-faced. We haven't cared, each one of us. And Christ has loved us not when we've been cooperating, not when we've been good, not when we've been on our game. He loved us selflessly, without allowing himself to be crucified by us, buried in the tomb, and risen. This sacrament that you're giving to one another, this sacramental grace, which you're invited to renew every day of your married life, the vows that you were saying a few moments for the first time, which will become flesh in the two of you, you will experience Christ who is there in the midst of you. He will suffice for anything. It doesn't matter where you're living. Right now, God opened a way. There's a little basement in Washington, D.C. or somewhere. You don't know where maybe you'll end up in the mission. Maybe you won't. Maybe you're going to